Welcome to the High Level Wife Podcast. This is a space for Christian wives who love God, want their marriage healed, and are done performing, fixing, striving, or trying to control their way to change. Here we're going to talk about marriage God's way through right order, surrender, heart posture, and spirit-led transformation. This is not self-help, it's discipleship. My name is Chelsey Holm, and my role is to help you move from awareness into obedience so real healing, wholeness, and restoration can take root. Let's begin. Welcome back to the High Level Wife Podcast. I'm Chelsey Holm, your hostess, and we do marriage God's way here. I paused there at the beginning because I forgot that I didn't exit out of this Zoom session where I record all my audios and didn't realize I actually hit record again. So that's okay. It'll be a file within a file, and you did not want to know all of that. So hey, thanks for hanging on here with me. Let's dive into biblical femininity. Because most of you, and I function this way for years, and I still come up against this because it is more of my natural self-protection is to move in the masculine and to function in the masculine sense of things, of setting the direction, of of creating the plan, of setting the vision, and moving in that get stuff done mentality and in just way of being. And that's not what God created us women as. That's not our function within marriage. Biblical femininity is to be a life giver, to be soft, to receive. The way that our bodies are designed, we are designed as receivers and as life givers, right? So look at the natural design that God created us for, right? Man was not created for woman, but woman for man, right? We see this in the biblical context that we were in fact created to support our husbands. Go back and listen to the previous episode before this about how to make space and support the mission of your husband and to stop deferring to your husband for everything when he's already set the mission and walking in that identity. But biblical femininity is that softness. Biblical femininity is that atmosphere shifting that you hear me frequently talk about. It's essentially the only way that it's created. Biblical femininity is, first of all, understanding God's design for women and how we function within marriage, but then also understanding how the only way to carry that out and to walk in biblical femininity is to apply the gospel to our lives, to abide in the Father and He in us. As Jesus said, how we love one another is how the world knows God. Right? But too often we have marriages that are liabilities to God's kingdom because we are different outside of our home than we are inside of our home. And these inconsistencies create this destruction to the faith of children. It damages the faith within the family and the home. And biblical femininity does the opposite, though. Biblical femininity is the nurturing, caregiving strength, right? It's the mom who knows her identity, who knows her authority, who knows her role and function and does it well and flourishes in it. That is biblical femininity. It's not weakness. It's actually great strength in the right avenue and direction of function, right? If you try to take a rope that's too big for a hole and shove it through, and maybe you get it through, but it's going to wear out and break very quickly because of the friction that is created of something too large being forced through something smaller that's not movable and bendable, and it's going to break quickly. Versus if you have a cable that is lubricated and put into a hole that it was designed for, the hole was designed for it, and it moves in a specific fashion, Guess what? It doesn't wear out, it doesn't break down. It actually is extremely effective at doing the job that it was created and designed to do. Do you see the difference? So, biblical femininity is how God designed us. Go read Song of Solomon. Go read about this bride and her bridegroom, because this is a picture of the intimacy and the oneness and the delight and goodness that God designed within marriage as a reflection of Christ and his bride, the church, which we are the church. We are the temple of his spirit, being built with Christ as the cornerstone for the Lord. Like, it's amazing to me that so many people don't know this. You don't know your function within marriage. You don't know your role within marriage. You don't know God's design for marriage. And so you are moving as this rope through this too small hole, and all of this friction is being created, and you're burning out. Why? Because did not design us as women to function in the masculine. It exhausts us and wears us out. It beats us down. It beats our husbands down and it beats our children's children down, because what it does is it focuses solely on serving and getting stuff done and showing up a certain way, but it completely lacks the enjoyment and delight and softness and tenderness and gentleness and goodness and kindness. Right? It may be a master of self-control, but it lacks the life-giving gentleness and meekness. Again, meekness is great power under control. Jesus displayed this perfectly for us. And this is beautifully displayed within marriage, of us being the first and foremost housing the Holy Spirit, immeasurable power within us for the glory of God. But then within the framework of marriage, we bear the seal of our husband's authority in carrying out this mission as their support, right? But when we do that in the masculine, we suck the life out of everything and everyone around us, right? We create spaces where nobody wants to be, or we create spaces that are so focused on the external that nobody can be without being extremely uncomfortable. But when we walk in our function in this design of biblical femininity, what we do is we become life givers of speech. We build up rather than tearing down. We speak life over each and every person in our homes. Our homes, in whatever our design looks like, it's not about the design of our homes, it's about the function of our homes, in the sense of creating a space that is welcoming, inviting, that gives life, that brings comfort and peace and joy, and essentially envelops and embodies the fruit of the Spirit within a space. That's what biblical femininity is. That's what it enables us to do within this function. So I will tell you, the world's gonna, if you go Google, like, how do I, like, I'm pretty masculine, how do I become more feminine? Like, here, I'm gonna pull up my phone, how to be more, if I could type, more feminine, right? Let's see what it says. Like, it's probably ridiculous, but embracing femininity involves cultivating a softer, more receptive, and gentle energy through self-care, elegant body language, and a nurturing mindset. See, I think this is so funny. Like, this is what Google says. Okay. So, of course, immediately it's going to focus. Key ways to start include practicing active receiving. Okay, now that is good. That is biblical, right? Women who are in the masculine will be completely givers all the time and servers all the time, right? Focusing on that doing while not being able to receive, not being able to be. So, okay, it's not off base there. But then it moves into wearing soft collars or jewelry. Okay, we're focusing on the external. Now, I will say there is something about putting on a dress in natural fibers that does something to softening us. Whereas putting on jeans or pants and blazers does not. And so there is something to that, right? Like we do have physical bodies, but that can't be our first step here. Okay, it goes on to say in slowing down movements. Yes, I will attest to this that when we move in the masculine as women, what we do is we move real fast and we move real hard and real intentional, right? Like, get out of my way. I ain't got time for feelings. Don't slow me down, right? Okay, but when you look at the pace of the natural world, the way that God designed it, there are seasons, there are cycles, there are days, right? There are nights. And slowing down our movement is such a good way. Just sitting out in the sun, it's my favorite thing. I'm like a cat. I want to sit on the porch in the sun. Like, I love it. It helps me to be present and to spend that time with the Lord and to be engaged with Him, right? And so slowing down your movement is key and essential and learning how to walk and function in biblical femininity, right? So Google's not completely off base. It's so funny because it actually mentions let go of control. Practice trusting others and letting go of the need to manage every outcome or solve every problem immediately. Again, Google actually coming in pretty clutch today. I don't know if kids say that these days, but Google is getting it a little bit here, okay? That do you trust your husband? Do you actually trust the Lord? Because that's really where your trust has to start. You say you trust God, but do you actually? There's an episode on that. I don't even remember when I recorded it, but you can go back and look for that one. But letting go of the need to manage every outcome and solve every problem immediately. This is one of the core um, hurdles that we have to move through and untangle when we're talking about moving from the masculine into softening into the feminine in the biblical way that God designed us is we were not designed to manage outcomes because we can't. Control is an illusion. Control is an illusion. And the more you try to control your husband, the more he will shut down, rebel, or push back or check out, right? All of those things. The more you try to control your children, the more they will shut down and rebel. All the same things, right? And so we as women have this very unique role in our biblical femininity that we actually are space creators. We create space. We physically create space in our homes. We create space in our bodies naturally, the way God designed us to carry babies. We create space for our children to step into the gifts and the talents that the Lord has knit in them. We create space for our husband to step into leadership of our family. We create space. We are space creators. Isn't that amazing? Because who else is a creator? Our Father God is a creator. He is the creator, and we are the creation. But he made us specifically in his image to be these life givers and creators. Think about that. We literally take a space that has nothing and we can bring life. If this episode stirred something in you, but high level wife feels like too big of a step right now, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to jump ahead to honor what God is doing. I created a short guided experience called From Awareness to Surrender for women who aren't ready for ongoing support but know they can't stay where they are. It includes 3 short teachings, a guided exercise, and a prayer I recorded over you. It's going to help you move from awareness into real response. You'll find the link in the show notes. And if you're not ready even for that, don't rush past this moment. Sit with God and ask Him what obedience looks like next.